You know me, I like risk. I've always liked to look at opportunities. I like to see when there are dislocations and say this is a nice time to step in. And right now, to the conversation you guys were just having around uncertainty, not just in terms of the macro forecast, but also in earnings, it's almost impossible for me to say, we've seen the bottom, we can break out of this trading range, and it's time for us to add.
There's always a price. Have we reset price low enough? How much more do we need to do that? Have we reset expectations sufficiently? What would you look for that would change your mind, that a risk reward would become more compelling?
Well, one of the things that I keep getting my head stuck on is everyone's focus on PEs, right? On multiples and valuation. And they keep on saying over and over again, you know, we've derated a little bit. It's now looking a little bit more attractive. And I say, that's great. We have no faith and confidence in the denominator. And against that backdrop, if you don't know what you're measuring yourself against, like, are we cheap? I don't think so. Look, there are super high quality companies in the US. I know we've had some rotation away from those companies over the last couple of weeks of trading. But, you know, that doesn't mean we need to step in and kind of back up the truck and add back to those companies right now. And I hate, as I said, sitting on my hands a little bit because, like everyone else in this business, I have a bias to action.
How inconsistent are some of the projections that we're getting right now out of Wall Street?
Oh my gosh.
Well, on one hand, you've got, I know, it's a big question. You want to just start there?
Yeah, no, it's a terrible time to have to put out forecasts. I'm fortunate enough to not have to put a target on the S&P or say, here's my technical buying level or here's my earnings expectation at the moment, because it is going to be a losing game at this moment. We could get to April 2nd and have some clarity. I would put a much higher probability that we don't have clarity after April 2nd. And so people are going to have to make these constant revisions. And especially, as we were talking about before, corporates don't know what's going to happen. One of the things I'm worried about and / watching as we go into this next earnings season is not just whether or not companies take down their guidance, but whether or not they pull guidance altogether. If they say we don't have enough information to even reaffirm or adjust or even take down what we've given you before, we're going to step back. That tells us that kind of all bets are off and kind of continuing to sit on the sidelines makes some sense. Now, to be fair, for like Citi Wealth clients who have, you know, multi-asset portfolios, we're not saying sell. But, you know, there are a lot of folks that have big cash balances, and we want to be convicted when we say put that cash to work.